Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Samantha Leah, and this is my third episode of my Thinking Out Loud podcast. I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing A Course in Miracles. If you haven't heard about A Course in Miracles, it is basically 365 days, an entire year of lessons every day that help us to move from the mindset of the ego to the mindset of the love frequency. And the way that it works is you do the daily lesson and you have different things that you have to do throughout the day, different practices. So it really is a commitment in discipline, and it really has been having wonderful effects for me. So I'm on day 74 now. So at this point, I can definitely analyze the way I feel and see how the lessons themselves are they're seeping into everything I do. And it's been a very wonderful thing that has entered my life. And I recommend it, honestly. I just did my lesson for the day, and I'm, just thinking about certain parts of the lesson. And one of the things that we've learned through these lessons is that our thoughts are not secret. So most of us can agree that we know that energy has no boundaries, and that we've seen, like for instance, there's been experiences where we've seen energy healing take place and proven that there's been energy healings taking place in different locations on the earth. So somebody is doing an energy healing on someone on a different continent. And so we know that. Now we need to start applying it, because when we have negative thoughts, they're not a secret. They're not just being kept in our mind, and they're not just hurting us. They're actually going into the collective consciousness, and they're affecting everyone and everything. And that is why right now we see we see a lot of negativity, violence, suffering, pain. We're seeing the manifestation of our collective consciousness being full of what we call in A Course in Miracles attack thoughts. So if I'm sitting here, I just had an argument with somebody and I'm still thinking about it, and I'm thinking of what I should have said instead, and thinking violently towards the person even. That is an attack thought, and it's not only an attack on myself, it's an attack thought that is being put out into the collective consciousness, and it is then manifesting not only in my life, but collectively. And since we've never been taught this, and we think that we're all separated, we think that we're all isolated from each other, and that our thoughts don't affect each other, we think that our negative criticisms and judgments are only in our minds, but there's really a universal mind, and we have not been taught this on purpose, because if we were to know that we were the cause of manifesting the negative events that happen on a collective global level, then we would be doing things that heal our minds. So as as long as we believe that we are separated from each other, isolated, and as long as we live in the mind of our ego, that keeps us separate and is only out for itself, is in love with competition. As long as we keep our mindset there, we are going to be creating the same reality on a global level that we've been for far too long. And the thing is that because we don't realize how much effect our thoughts have, we can say all we want. I want world peace. I want people to be happy. I want suffering to end in the world. But then we go about our daily lives and we don't even recognize that each time we have an attack thought, a judgment, a negative criticism about someone or something or people, we're actually sending that frequency out, and it's manifesting not only in our personal lives, individual lives, but on a grand global scale, because we are all connected at the end of the day, and separation is an illusion that we chose. We chose to come into this experience, and we are all in separate bodies. So the ego holds on to the illusion of separation and says, well, I'm here, you're there, we're separate, we're not the same. And that mindset has created a lot of sorrow, pain, suffering, negativity in both our personal lives and obviously globally. So that is what I'm thinking about right now in this moment. And I'm putting practices in place in my daily life consistently that help me to identify when I'm being triggered and when I'm sending out negative frequencies, because I know that I'm not only affecting myself, but I'm affecting this global consciousness. And honestly, I do not want to be a part of the negative collective energy. Like I don't want to be adding to it. There's enough of it already. So I'm trying to I am holding myself in line as often as possible and as often as I remember. And that is, if you've listened to, was that the second episode? I talked about, in either the first or the second, I don't remember. I talked about how I set timers throughout the day, just alarms that consistently remind me to stay present. Actually, a lot of that has to do with the Course in Miracles, because we have to do these practices. Well, they're recommended to do quite frequently throughout the day. So I started setting alarms for that reason, to remind myself to do the practice. And so I keep those alarms on no matter what now, because they just remind me that I need to stay present, and I need to really be with the trigger when I'm triggered and not allow it to take over me. Once I allow it to take over me, I am completely living in my ego. And when you're living just through your ego, you are not emitting a positive frequency. So that's really become very important to me, that every time I'm triggered, I breathe. And for instance, yesterday I was triggered by the fact that where I live right now, you're not supposed to have to pay to walk onto the beach anymore after a certain day, and they extended it for whatever reason, probably the virus. Because in the beginning of the summer, it the beach wasn't open, so they extended the amount of time where you have to pay to walk onto the beach in comparison to when the summer is usually over, it's free. And that should have been yesterday. And I walked onto the beach and the woman said, "Where's your badge?" I said, "What are you talking about? You don't charge anymore." And so they told me that they're still charging, and I was very angry. So I allowed myself to experience the anger. Of course, you don't want to suppress it because then it sticks inside of you and it will wind up coming out somewhere, some way, somehow. So I did allow myself to feel the anger, and then I had to sit with myself, and I actually meditated on the beach for an hour because I was very triggered. I felt like my freedom was being taken away, et cetera, et cetera. So I had to ground myself, and I had to pull myself out of that, and just keeping in mind that I'm not only doing it for me, I'm doing it for all of us. I'm doing it for the collective. I'm doing it because there's not enough people emitting love in this world as often as possible. And I know that I need to be the person that is living in love in order to pursue my mission. So a lot of you guys who are listening, your mission is also to live in love and to express love. And that's why you're drawn to listening to this. And so it really helps to know that everything that we think and feel it's not a secret. The universe has no secrets. Energy has no secrets. We're all tapped into the same energy. So we need to really hold ourselves accountable for what type of frequency we are emitting. And when we're triggered, we have to allow ourselves to experience the emotion. But we also have to then question why we're being triggered. And we have to ground ourselves again and connect back into our source, which you can call God, you can call love, you can call source, you can call oneness, you can call the universe, you can call it whatever you want, but to live a fulfilled and purposeful and loving life, you need to be connected to that source. So that is all I have for you today. I am going to be moving soon, so I have a very good feeling that when I am in my new environment, I will be recording more of these podcasts. So these are right now they're very separated from each other. I really have a lot to say, so I hope to get to a point where I'm actually putting episodes out at least every week, maybe twice a week. And I believe I will be doing that within the next few months. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I love you very much.